The crystal glass left my hand before I chose to throw it. Red wine burst across Darrow's perfect jaw. The ballroom went silent. Fetch your own drink, I told him, my voice calm the way ice is calm. You'll regret this, Rhea Nightwind, he hissed. Without me, your pack, I won't mate a man who mistakes me for property. I stepped closer so he could smell the warning in my skin. Not now, not ever. A quiet laugh drifted from the far end of the room. The crowd parted as if the sea remembered a command. Kieran Hale. He wore power like other men wore suits effortlessly. Dark hair, eyes like winter water, a mouth that almost smiled. Bold, he said, stopping at my side. Darrow bristled. Stay out of this, Hale. Kieran didn't even look at him. I'm busy admiring her aim. I should have walked away. Instead, I watched Kieran watch me, and I felt every stare in the hall. Darrow grabbed my wrist. Apologize now. I twisted, dropped my weight, and sent him to the marble with a hard breath, gasps, cameras, the whisper of a dozen messages leaving the room. I'd rather burn my borders, I told him, than made a coward. Kieran's voice slid through the noise like velvet. Alpha Nightwind, he said lightly, walk with me, outside. The terrace was winter bright. He released my hand slowly, as if he were reluctant to give it back. You humiliated a council favorite, he murmured. I ran out of patience, I said. And options. You need protection, he said. I need a mate before the next moon. Need, I repeated. Not want. A shadow moved behind his eyes. He didn't name it. A 1-year alliance, he offered, drawing a folded document from his jacket. Public, persuasive, useful. Your sovereignty intact. My optics improved, and when the year ends, we part quietly. I stared at the ink, at the moonlight on his cheekbone, at the thin ache living under his smile. Why me? Because you're the one who wouldn't sell her name for safety, he said, and because I don't want obedience. I want outcomes. The wind lifted my hair. I could hear my father's voice. I could see my pack's winter stores. 3 months until challenge. 3 months until the wolves with old grudges came knocking. I took the pen from his pocket and signed. 1 year. He smiled like a man who knew how to win and hated what it cost. Try not to fall for me before then. Try to deserve it, I said. He leaned in, his breath warm against my ear. Can you fake wanting me, Rhea? I looked straight at him. Can you fake not wanting me? The music swelled behind the doors. Somewhere inside, someone cheered. I didn't look back. The ritual chamber swallowed sound. Stone, candles, a red silk ribbon waiting between us. Witnesses are necessary, the officiant said, voice old as law. Bonds require eyes. I glanced at Kieran's gloves. He called them fashion. They felt like a secret. Old words bind, the officiant intoned. The silk brushed our wrists. The female begins the mark. I stepped into his heat. You don't own me, I whispered, his lashes lowered. I wouldn't dare. I unbuttoned his collar, just one, and felt the steady beat beneath my fingers. The bond was only a rumor then, a taut string across a quiet room. I bit. Not cruel, clean, decisive. His breath left him low and honest. Heat flashed along the string between us. A bright wire pulled through my spine. For one wild heartbeat I tasted him. Cedar and control. Hunger and the sound he makes when he stops pretending. Now, the officiant said softly. The male returns the mark. His hand settled at my waist. He smelled like warm smoke and something metallic trying to hide. Ready? He asked. Don't make a mess. I breathed. He didn't. He bit carefully, reverently, like ritual meant something even to men who broke rules. Fire opened inside me, his mouth. My blood. Ancient magic remembering its script. I didn't mean to cling. I did. Applause. Witnesses exhaled. The silk lifted. We performed the smiles we'd practiced. Congratulations, I said under my breath. Husband, try not to faint, I added. Because his color had gone wrong. I don't faint, he murmured. But his hand trembled inside leather. Later, when the last watcher finally left, I dabbed at his throat with linen. Up close his pulse felt. Miscounted, your heart is off, I whispered. The bond is new, he lied, and your glove. Tragically chic, he said again, and let the candlelight paint his calm. We stepped into the corridor together. The house watched us pass. He tightened the glove until the seam bit. I pretended not to notice. The training hall smelled like resin and winter sun. We circled each other on the mats. I wanted to spar. He wanted to flirt. We did both. No claws, no fangs, no lawsuits. He said, first to tap buys dinner. You already owe me breakfast. He warned. We moved. He was fast, but there was a drag in his left foot. A wince he covered with charm. I tagged his ribs. He inhaled sharply. Injury? I asked. Ego. Leather squeaked. That glove again. We tangled and fell, my knee bracketing his hip, his gloved palm at my waist. For a second the bond purred, greedy as a cat in a warm window. Tap, he asked, eyes on my mouth. Not yet. We went until sweat beaded and his smile thinned into something truer. When I fainted high, he didn't follow. When I stopped, his hand was white-knuckled on his thigh. You good? Perfect, he lied, and stood to fast. We practiced being married in corridors full of cameras. His arm through mine. My head tilted just so, our fingers laced like a story we'd already told each other in a different life. The bond hummed whenever our skin touched. I told it to behave. It didn't. Lunch was glass and vines. He ordered soup, stared at it like it was a mirror. The glove hit a tremor. Take it off. I said later in the music room. Buy me dinner first, Kieran. He exhaled my name like surrender and leaned on the piano. We have a gala tomorrow. Donors adore domesticity. Hold my hand. Look at me like I'm oxygen. Try not to bleed. Looking at you like your oxygen requires no rehearsal. He said softly. The bond flared. I closed the piano to break it. He flinched as if the sound went straight through him. Headache? I asked. Symphony, he said. All strings take something. I did what? Lying, he said. It's very effective. I stepped into his space until our breaths braided. Then let's sell the lie. He whispered, eyes flicking to the doorway where a maid pretended to dust. He kissed me like stagecraft. It wasn't. Heat slid soft beneath my skin. The bond snagged and open like silk on a nail. Yes, yes. Then pain slammed through him. He broke with a gasp. Hand to his chest, glove scraping buttons. The bond went sharp as pain, not mine, bright and wrong, pouring through me until my eyes stung. Look at me, I ordered, palms framing his face. Breathe, he tried. The wolf light behind his eyes flickered, thin as a dying candle. I knelt with him on the rug. For 3 counts my pulse tried to teach his how to keep time. It eased, barely. We'll pretend for the donors. He rasped later, jaw tight. After that, you have a deadline, I said. He flinched, small and honest. I didn't take his offered hand when I stood. I met his eyes and spoke so no camera could read me. Tomorrow you take the glove off. His throat moved. As my Luna commands, fake Luna, I whispered, and hated the way the bond warmed anyway. The human restaurant glowed honey gold, garlic lemon safety. He ordered wine. Human wine doesn't touch wolves. It touched him. You brought me here to tell me, I said softly, to eat pasta, he said smiling wrong. I'm pioneering. The candle wavered between us. His glove shone like a secret in plain sight. Kieran? I asked. If I'd asked you to shift right now, could you? He lifted his glass. Define now, you're drunk. I whispered when the room softened around him on atmosphere. He tried. The valet gave me the keys. He found the seat warmer and turned it on, off, on. Do you get cold now? I asked. I am experimenting with sensations, he murmured. Very poetic. I got him upstairs. Moonlight cut the rug into pale bars. He sat like a man pretending a bed was a throne. Glove, I said. No, Kieran. I didn't raise my voice. It still filled the room. He peeled it off. The cut across his palm looked new. It wasn't. How long? I asked. A while. He said, and I hated the careful way he didn't measure it. Tell me all of it. He looked at me, then past me, then into the place where pride sleeps. My line is cursed. At 30, a Hale firstborn loses the wolf if he's unmated unless the bond is true. Love, I said, an inconvenient requirement. He laughed without joy. I tried to buy a solution with paper and flowers, and curses read footnotes. His voice gentled. They want sincerity, not signatures. I pressed water and painkillers into his hand. Take them. I'm not. You're in pain. He obeyed me because sometimes order is the only mercy left. I brushed his jaw with my fingers. The bond purred, traitor soft. I didn't know at first, he whispered. Then I knew, and I was already out of time. What do you want? I asked. He looked at my mouth like prayer had teeth. You, he said, and then closed his eyes as if it hurt to be that simple. Or the right to ask without turning it into a weapon. My throat burned. We'll fix it, I said. You can't out-argue old magic. I can out-stubborn it, I told him. But not like this. Like what? Like pretending. I swallowed. We break the bond. You need a mate who loves you. I won't be the cage that keeps you from finding her. You are not a cage, he said, to fast. Then don't make me one. Silence layered the room. Somewhere a clock shows a side. After the gala, I whispered, saying it felt like walking him to a pyre and daring the world to stop me. He nodded once, eyes wet with a relief that hurt to see. At the door I said, don't drink tomorrow, bossy, he murmured. As my Luna commands, fake Luna, I said, but the bond didn't believe me anymore. The High Moon Council chamber was built to make wolves feel small. Stone ribs, torches. 12 elders who liked theater more than truth. Darrow held up our paper like scripture. Clause 14, he crowed, acceptable distance for hand-holding. Fraud elders, stripper title, deny his seat, Alpha Hale, Alpha Nightwind, Elder Iver said. Why shouldn't we tear this apart? Kieran stepped forward before I could, pale, immaculate, brave, because I deceived first, he said. To protect her. Punish me, Darrow sneered. He's not even well. Look at his hand, show them, I said. Kieran took off the glove. The cut glared red. A hiss swept the room. My family is cursed, he said clearly. At 30, I lose the wolf unless my mate loves me. I tried to cheat old magic. I did not tell her soon enough. That is mine to carry, strip them. Darrow snapped, or I said, stepping into the seal's cold eye. Consider the third option. Elder Ivor's brow rose. Which is, the truth. I faced the man him. I signed because my pack needed safety. I learned because he kept telling the wrong lies for the right reasons. I swallowed. My voice steadied. I hate lilies. He donated them anyway when I complained about waste. I hate how he smiles when he's bleeding. I hate how he asks for nothing and leaves gifts where I trip over them. A scoff. A whisper. I didn't stop. I love my pack, I said. I love my title. I love not needing anyone to breathe. I stepped closer until I could feel the warmth of him. And I hate how much I notice when you're not in a room. The silver-haired elder leaned in. Keep speaking, child. I looked at Kieran. I love that you told the truth when lying would have saved you. I love that you tried to stand between me and the council even while you were falling apart. I love you. Curse and fear and all your stupid courage. The room exhaled like a storm breaking. Magic rose whined through torches, heat through stone. Our marks flared silver blue. The bond didn't spark, it bloomed. Kieran staggered, hand to his chest, then straightened, laughing like breath had finally found him. He flexed his palm. The ugly red mouth closed as we watched. Power settled on his shoulders like a mantle remembered. For the record, he said softly, eyes bright, I love you, Rhea Nightwind. Not because I need saving, because with you, I don't want to be the man who needed it. Then kiss me, I whispered. In front of your precious council. He did. Magic rolled out in a wave that rattled iron and lifted ropes. When we parted, the chamber was different and the law was smaller than the truth carried. Elder Ivor said hoarsely, after the votes. Sovereignty retained. Seat admitted. Try not to humiliate us again. No promises, I breathed. A voice drifted from the gallery, amused and wrong. A copper-haired man in a dark coat smiled like a ledger. Curses snap clean, he said. Debts don't. See you at the night market, South Fork. Bring lilies. He vanished like folded paper. Kieran's fingers threaded mine. You okay? He murmured. No, I said, and breathed. Yes, ask me again in an hour. Deal, he said, alive in a way that made my knees weak. Reporters waited outside like wolves in silk. We stepped into the light together. Truth and contract finally aligned. After the gala, he whispered, we can annul if you want. I looked at the man I had refused, then chosen. The bond hung steady as a vow. Try me for a year, I said. Then ask again. Somewhere to the south, a market lantern winked, and a woman who hated Lily smiled over a ledger she hadn't finished writing.